Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode with Grounded with Shannon. As always, on these episodes we talk about anything to do with a healthy, happy life, good health and a happy life. And we're going to be addressing a very important topic today, and a topic that is incredibly close to my heart. And it's all got to do again with connection. We know that everything that we talk about on here is about connecting and really finding a way to connect with our little people and raise happy, healthy, and thriving little humans. And health is not necessarily all about mental health, it's also about physical health. Physical health is not always about just what's going on in the body, but also what's going on in the mind, our heart, and our emotions at the same time. So on these episodes, our connection is about connecting everything and pulling it together. A happy life, good health at the end of the day. Good health and a happy life go hand in hand with each other. So today I want us to get a little bit more curious about the topic of love languages. And I'm sure many of you have heard about love languages. It's often spoken about when it comes to adults and how adults interact with each other. The funny thing though is children are so susceptible to love languages as well. And how we connect with our children through their love language is really, really important. And it forms a close sense of emotional connection and attachment. And as we know, from a very young age, attachment is absolutely critical for a healthy and thriving life. So I know that as parents, sometimes you find that your children are almost acting out, their behavior isn't ideal. You just can't get to the bottom of what's going on with your children. And I am a very, very firm believer that absolutely everything is rooted in a need at the end of the day. So all of our behavior, when we look at it from an underlying perspective, there's always a need that is potentially not being met. And as a result, children tend to act out in a certain way. That's our first clue that our children need something from us. But love languages is not just about a preventative strategy. It's more so about being proactive with love languages every day to foster and harness a beautiful relationship with our children. So when we talk about love language, it is rooted in science, because if you think about those warm, fuzzy moments with our children, what's actually happening in the brain is that you are forming a bond of safety, and we know that the only way we as humans can regulate is if we feel safe. So once we've formed that strong bond of attachment with our children, they feel safe enough to form a strong bond, a strong connection, and as a result, they feel connected. If our children feel connected, their behavior will show us in that way. What we'll see is improved behavior. We'll start seeing improved sleep. We'll start having happier moments with them. We'll have less arguments, less meltdowns, less dysregulation. So love languages is something that's really, really crucial for us to start understanding about our children, recognizing what their love language is, and then how do we feed them with that every single day. Just as adults, children have pretty much two top default love languages. Yes, we talk about the 5 love languages that we will go into a little bit, but if we are able to meet 2 of those, and the 2 priority ones that are really important to our children, we'll find that this connection will continue to strengthen. So as with everyone, we all have a dominant love language. How do we understand and find out really what that is? We start observing with intention around our children. How are they behaving? How do they show love? What does it mean to them to show love? Generally, when it comes to children, is how they show love is how they actually want to receive love. So Gary Chapman really identified these 5 love languages as a starting point, and I think there's just been a lot of where it's actually exploded into how we use it in all of our interrelationships, be it with adults and children. But the important thing around these love languages is to do them on a consistent basis, not once or twice, and definitely not when we want a certain reaction out of our children. But it's really to instill almost a lifelong way of attuning into our children's behavior and developing the strong bond with them. So let's have a look at these 5 love languages. So the first one is physical touch. And this is where you get your cuddle bugs, really. The children that always just want to come and jump on your lap, either want to play with your hair, hold your hand when you're walking down the road. You can feel them, they just want to lean into you and really cuddle and get that physical touch from you. And again, what that physical touch does is it sends receptors in their brain and it gives off oxytocin. And oxytocin is the love hormone and is the bonding hormone. So when your baby's born, all you want to do is cuddle your baby and hug them. And obviously the whole feeding process really pushes out oxytocin between mother and child, and it forms that very, very strong attachment bond. Some children love that physical attention, and what they do is they seek it out. So you'll see it when they are dysregulated. They will want to come up to you for a hug. You'll see when they're having a meltdown, they will start getting closer and closer to you. So recognize these cues in your child and then give it to them. Lots of holding hands, lots of nourishing hugs. When you're reading stories to them, pull them in close for lots of cuddles. The second one is words of affirmation. And again, another very popular one with children. Children love to hear that they are making you proud as parents. And they love to receive feedback that they're making you proud. And it's not always about the end result, but it's more about the process. And what we mean by that is, wow, I've really noticed how hard you've worked this week and you've really put a lot of work into preparing for this test. As a result, I'm sure you're going to be so proud of yourself when you get your test results back. But the test results are not the end game. It's almost the work and the progress that they put into it, and that we as parents are noticing that they're putting that work and progress in. Also, you'll see that when you say a word to your child's eyes light up. And it might be, oh my word, I'm so proud of you. Your kindness is amazing. And use descriptive words and watch when their eyes light up. And that's when you know that is the type of word that you need to use more and more. Things like, wow, you're so thoughtful. I noticed that you made your bed this morning and I love it when you do that. And you'll see their whole body language open up and again want to connect with you even more. The next one is acts of service. And again, this is something around, helping them fix their bike if it breaks, helping them reconnect Lego pieces at the moment when they need it most. Often children, when they're trying to do something that takes a lot of complex cognitive ability, if it all falls down, they get dysregulated, which is completely normal. And that's when we as adults can step in and say, I'd love to help you build this again. I really enjoy these moments that we spend together and finding out how we can solve this problem together. Another way is also making them their favorite snack when they get home from school. If they're sitting on the couch doing their homework, say to them, guess what? I made you your favorite sandwich and I put a little bit of extra cheese on because I know how much you love cheese. It's also just simply assisting them with a task that they could be struggling with, but you can support them in a way. Not do it for them, but just guide them a little bit. And this is where they will almost feel that support coming through, and you'll find that they will probably start doing the same for you. And that's how you know that their number one and biggest priority love language is acts of service. The next one is quality time. And again, all children absolutely love quality time. And it doesn't need to be a full day of quality time. It can be 10 to 20 minutes a day. But this is where you will see that children just want presence. And when you are in their presence, they want you to be making eye contact with them. They want you to be holding their hand. They want you to sit on the ground with them and go down to their level. They really want to feel that connection between the two of you. And this is where that quality time is so important. Taking them for a walk in the park, but grabbing their hand, sitting on a bench together, noticing nature, noticing what's around them, but really putting that almost non-distraction time in for them. And particularly for the children who value this, the more you do this, you'll feel a very, very strong connection to them. And the last one obviously is gifting. And now a lot of people think that gifting is going out and buying your child gifts all the time, very expensive gifts, but it's actually not about that. It's about the intention behind the gift. So you could be walking in the park one day and pick up a rock, and you know that your child loves those painted rocks with a little word on them, and you can take them home and say, look what I found for you. Can we do a rock painting together and then take it back and leave it for another child? It could be as simple as a little note with their favorite teddy bear under their pillow, so when they wake up in the morning, they receive an affirmation, a word of affirmation, which is I love you to the moon and back, and their favorite teddy bears underneath their pillow. So you haven't bought anything, but you're leaving little gifts for them. And again, it's more about the intention of connecting with your children rather than buying them stuff to show them that you love them. And you'll see that with children that love receiving these things, they will do the same for you. So you might open your bag one day and you'll find a little note from your child in the bag saying, Mommy, I love you so much. You might take them out for dinner, and afterwards they might write a note on the serviette for you, just giving you a heart or anything like that. So it's less about the material side of it, but more about the intentional connection side of it. Identifying your child's love language is actually easier than I think is expected. So there's a few things you can do. For example, the first is notice how your child gives and shows love. And now this can be to another sibling, to their favorite teddy, to their pet, and to you. Notice the cues that they use in actually showing whatever it is that they love them. If it's their dog, if they come home from school and the first thing they do is pick them up, give them a big hug and say, oh my gosh, I've missed you so much, give me a kiss, come sit by me, come sit on my lap. That's a very strong cue that it's physical touch. If they come home from school and they see their sibling and they walk past and they say, I heard you did really well in rugby today, give me a high five. Words of affirmation. They obviously are giving that love to their sibling through words of affirmation. If again, you find notes around the house for the sibling, for the teddy, for the pet, for you, that's how you know that they enjoy, obviously, little bits of gifting. And often when it comes to identifying what their love language is, another important part is to actually watch what they complain about. So often we'll see this where children will say, Mommy, please, can you come and look at my art drawing? Or can you come and look, I've got something to show you in my room. Can you sit down on the ground and play with me? Can we just do this puzzle for 5 minutes together? And a lot of the time, parents will do it in 5 minutes time. I'll come back to it. But when a child keeps going on about something, when they complain about something, Mommy, you never play with me. Daddy, you didn't play with me outside this weekend. Playtime is generally quality time. So they're looking for that quality and presence time. If your child obviously is going on about, Mommy, you didn't give me a letter for my lunchbox last week, or you didn't finish that drawing that you said you were going to draw for me, or you promised me you were going to do a card and give it to me. That's how you know that your child is actually looking for a little bit more in terms of acts of service, as well as words of affirmation. So a lot of the time, a lot of them overlap. But the default ones, which you will notice, is pay attention to what your child complains about. Pay attention to how they give love, because how we give love is often how we want to receive love. And then also just observe what lights them up. Play around with the different love languages. And again, take note of eye contact, of body, what's happening from a somatic perspective. So when you are doing a love language for them, such as acts of service, physical touch, pay attention to, are they making eye contact with you? What is their breathing doing in their chest? Are they slowly breathing? Is their body opening up? All of these cues will tell you when you're feeling that sense of connection. And then use those top two as much as possible. And again, from a continuous basis. And you can say to them, did you enjoy it when we did this activity together today? Did you enjoy it when we were watching that movie and I pulled you onto my lap and we snuggled under a blankie? You can ask them and they will tell you. But again, it's those top default ones that if we can get that right, we will really start solidifying a very healthy and positive bond for our children. And remember that when we are able to meet a need, we often see that a lot of behavior changes in children. And you'll know that because you'll also feel a stronger connection. A lot of parents say to me, when the behavior is not ideal, they also feel very disconnected and they feel like they cannot get through to their children. Try doing this love language for the next 2 weeks, identifying the top two, the default ones, looking at meeting that, playing around with the various love languages and really watching your children, intentionally observe them, see what lights them up, and then use that default love language over and over and over again. you will absolutely see results. And the other thing is, it feels so good too. It boosts your oxytocin levels, it boosts your child's oxytocin levels, and it's another form of co-regulation. So try it out and let us know how it goes. And again, we'll be back with our next episode. As always, get curious with your children. Understand what's going on inside of them. Understand what's going on inside of you as you're interacting with them. Attune to your children and connect with them.